Okay, so I posted some videos before about this particular motor, this engine. This is my Yamaha Saltwater Series 225 SX, and it's from a boat that I traded labor for a while back. I posted a few videos of the engine itself, starting for the first time, and a couple of shakedown cruises. And during the shakedown cruises, one of the things I had to do was replace the low pressure fuel pumps, which I'm going to make a video about. I have one broken down so you can see what it looks like. I don't have it in front of me now. But anyhow, recently we had some rough weather in the bay coming back. And as we were coming back, I hit one wave and my oil alarm came on my cluster, on my instrument cluster. And of course I stopped the boat, checked the oil levels in the tank integral on the motor and the auxiliary, and both had plenty of oil, so it wasn't a low oil issue at all. My first thought was it had a short in the gauge itself. The wiring maybe got loosened from the impact of the waves, but turns out what happened was, now this boat, it has been sitting since 2012, so 10 years or so it hasn't been in the water, and I'm assuming that this tank is also, the reserve tank, auxiliary tank, is also 12 years old or older, probably as old as the engine, I'm guessing, maybe 20 years old. So what happened was, here is the oil injection pump in pieces. Actually, it's in really good shape, clean. But what happened was, these magnets, which stick to the metal housing, but are also epoxied in. Here, let me show you. They are epoxied in, and lay it down to the bottom in there. If you can see that or not, there we go. There we go, better view. Anyhow, so they're epoxied into the housing. And after 20 years or so, the epoxy got old and it broke loose. The magnets ended up breaking loose as well and sticking to the stator. There should be a gap, an air gap there. And they were sticking to the stator, and they prevented the actual stator from turning, spinning, which actually is what drives the pump. And so there was no oil being transferred from the auxiliary tank up into the integral tank. And this is what it looks like. This is the pumping mechanism right here. It's just a couple of gears and this plate on top, as you can see. So it just spins those gears. Oil goes in one orifice, out the other. All right, but of course the motor has to spin. And again, in a nutshell, if your motor failed, your pump motor failed, it could be that the magnet broke loose and got stuck to the stator, as in the case of mine. I'm going to actually put this back together and reuse it, as this pump costs about $160 to $200 depending on where you get it. So I will have another video posting the low pressure oil pump so you can see what that looks like on the inside. If you're like me, a novice at these types of outboard motors, I hope it helps somebody. And thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Take care.